So, we are recording right now. As you can tell, I am not a professional YouTuber. Well, not yet. Not yet. Who knows? Who knows what will happen later? Good. So this is what we're going for. Now, I'd like you to put your sketchbook in a landscape position like this. Yeah, a landscape position. And I'm going to make a new one. I have put my horizon line about 15 centimeters. That's about halfway. I made a tiny little mark here and a tiny little mark here. And I made my horizon line by connecting the two marks. Now I have my horizon line. That means that I have the sky here at the top and the ground here at the bottom. And since we're making a two-point perspective, I need to add 2 points. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, since I'm only doing a 2-point, I put one here, not at the very end, but a little bit from the side, the other one right there. When you're ready, please hold up your ruler like so. Don't start to wobble it, otherwise it'll break. That way I know that you have a horizon line and we can continue. Yeah? Yes, you will be on video. Yes, yes. All right, so we can continue. So, our next step is somewhere here on the right-hand side. We're going to draw a vertical line. Now, drawing things vertically, I'm going to get some help from the horizon line that are already drawn. I'm going to use those little marks on my ruler to make sure that my ruler is in a 90-degree angle to my horizon line. That means anything that's 90 degrees to my horizon line is going to be vertical. Somewhere about here, underneath the horizon line, I'm going to draw a, I don't know how long that is, but not that big, not that small.
It's like 7 centimeters.
Doesn't really matter. Now, again, when you have your vertical line, there we go. I'm going to connect the top and, or the bottom and the top, to both vanishing points. Now, to aim is very important. I want my line, my guidelines, to end up exactly on my vanishing point. I'm going to use a little trick for that. Namely, I'm going to put the tip of my pencil on the vanishing point, like so, and then I'm going to push my ruler against it ever so slightly. Then I can turn my ruler until I hit the bottom, in this case, of the line I just drew, like so. I can check, is it at the bottom? Yeah, pretty much. Recheck. Check twice, draw once. Golden rule. I'm not drawing a line all the way up to the vanishing point. I can, but I'm not doing that because most of that line I have to erase anyway, and since I'm not that big of a fan of erasing stuff, I don't bother. Same thing with the top of the line. I'm going to put my pencil in like so, push my ruler in, adjust it so I'm hitting the vanishing point. Am I actually hitting? Yeah, pretty much. Check again. And there we go. Now this one is a little bit longer. See that? Not that big of a deal. We'll get to that in a moment. Now I'm going to do that for the other side as well. Put in my pencil, adjust my ruler so it hits the bottom right there. fairly accurate. I shifted a little bit, but hey, not a big deal. I have two vanishing lines going to the right vanishing point here. Now, I have the left and the right side, but I don't really know where it ends yet. Yes, you have a question.
Do they have to be parallel? Because mine are like extras if they're not parallel.
No, they're not going to be parallel at all. They kind of fan out. The distance here is about, what is it, 9.5, 9.7? And here it's less. Now let me add in the end of the vanishing point, or the end of the box here. I want to have a vertical line somewhere in between these two guidelines. Now I'm going to push my ruler in the position that I needed to. Again, I'm going to check with the horizon line, and I want my box on the left side to end there. And Lindsay, if you measure, then here it's about 6.4, just about, and here it's 8.7. See that? So the size decreased.
Can we like erase this extra line that we have?
You can erase those extra lines, but I usually do that at the very end. Yeah, when everything is ready. Yeah. So I'm going to do the same trick on the right side as well. And then I'm going to wait for you to finish, so you can... I want the box to enter about there. See that I've checked at the top. I went over just a little bit, not a big deal. Now I have the right and the left side, but now I want the top of my box. When drawing a two-point perspective, I'm always looking for cross-sections. In this case, the vertical line on the right side is crossing this guideline going to the vanishing point, which leaves me a nice cross-section here. I can connect a guideline to the opposing vanishing point. I'm not going to extend beyond this line because I probably won't need it. So I'm leaving it as that. And over here, from the top, I'm messing it up a little bit. Good enough. There we go. Now I am going to wait until everybody is ready. Let's see if the pause button works. Okay, we're back. Now we are going to draw a second cube floating up here in the sky. So if the first one didn't really work out that well, now's your time to shine again. Now, you start with either a line going to a vanishing point or a line, a vertical line. Yeah, I like to start with a vertical line, but you could just as well start with a line going to a vanishing point. But we'll get to that in a moment. Now, I want a box floating right up here. Again, like I said, I'm going to start with a vertical line right there. Mind you, we're only using those 2 points because we're doing a two-point perspective. Are there any more? Yeah, there are a lot more points that we can use in a point perspective. I mean, there could be a 1,000,000 point perspective. It looked quite weird, but technically it is possible. Anyway, so we got our line over here. In the back, can I see your hands if you got the line and the 2 points?
You have to see our ruler.
Yes, exactly. I'm not really seeing the rulers in the back, that's why I'm asking. All right. Good. Now follow the instructions. Again, I'm going to put my pencil on my vanishing point and push my ruler against it, and then adjust the ruler so it hits either the top or the bottom. I'm going to start with the top this time, the bottom this time. When you finish your drawing, your vanishing points will look terrible. They'll look really dark, and sometimes you can even poke a hole through the paper. Again, it'll look really well loved. There we go. Again, I'm not drawing my guidelines all the way up to the vanishing point. Now I'm using one of the corners of my box, push my ruler against it, adjust it so it hits the vanishing point, and then draw the line. The top of the box. Adjust your ruler so it hits the vanishing point, and draw the line. Now, when I end my box, I want the line to be absolutely vertical. That's why I'm using these smaller marks on my ruler, and in between the two guidelines, I'm going to draw a line. If you want, you can extend it, but in this case, there's no need to. There we go. Now, I've found a couple of cross sections, which I'm going to use. Again, put my pencil on the vanishing point and adjust my ruler so it hits one of those cross sections. I have an awful lot of cross sections. That's fine. I was a little bit off there. About there? Yeah. Put my pencil on the cross section. Put my ruler next to it and adjust it so it hits the vanishing point. And then I can draw the line. I end up with this, and if you want, you can erase the bits that you don't need, like so. There we go. I'm going to pause the recording again. I'm going to have a look. So now we have two boxes. Well, you have three, maybe even more. I'm going to put another box behind this box, but exactly on the same line. Say that I want to make a street of some sort. Yeah? And my next house is going to be somewhere over here. This is going to be my first house, and this house is kind of overlapping that other house. So what can I do? I already have this guideline leading up to the vanishing point. Now here I didn't really bother to extend it all, but my new box is going to be a little bit behind this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this guideline for as long as I need it. In this case I don't need to extend it all the way up to the vanishing point. So somewhere on this line, I'm going to put another box. So in this case, I'm not starting with a vertical line. I'm starting with a guideline leading up to the vanishing point.
Do we have to connect it?
Now, draw in your, extend one of the guidelines leading up to the vanishing point. I have a lot of room here, so you might want to do that as well. Now I can add in another box. Say that the other box starts somewhere over here. I don't have any cross sections yet, so I'm going to decide, you know what? That's where the corner of my box begins. That's this corner, relatively speaking. So, again, I'm going to put my pencil on the corner. Does it really matter where exactly? Well, as long as it's on the guideline. Check at the top and draw a line up. Now say that I want a box that is almost identical, at least in height, to this box right here. Then I need to extend this guideline as well. Again, I'm going to put my pencil on the cross section, turn it so it hits the vanishing point, and now I can see, look at that, it's cutting my line in to the left vanishing point like so. Then I can draw a line to the vanishing point, not from the vanishing point. And in between this line and this line, I can end one side of the box like so. So I just have one face of the box. Let's make this side a little bit more clear. There we go. I'm going to draw in the other side of the box, but that is a little bit behind the bigger box itself. So, putting my pencil on the vanishing point, adjusting my ruler so it hits the corner right there, and drawing a line, but I'm going to stop right there at the box, because I can't see through this box. It doesn't stop here, I know that, but the point where it stops, I can't really see. I'm going to do the same thing at the top again. Pencil on the vanishing point, adjust the ruler so it hits the cross section. Now here's a nice cross section. And when I extend that, I don't hit this box. I have this cross section right there. And that's exactly the same line that I want to use. So from this point, I can draw a vertical line down, mark on the horizon, pencil on the corner. I add in just this tiny little line here. The rest of the box I really can't see. Now to add in the top, same steps. I can extend this line, not all the way, but just far enough. And I can draw in a new line. Measure twice, draw once. There we go. Now here, I get a bit confused because I do have a cross-section right here, but it doesn't really matter because this is the front line, and but this is the back of the box. So just to make sure that I don't get confused when adding to my drawings, the more complex your drawings get, the more confused you get. Sometimes it's inevitable. It's really hard to keep track of all your lines sometimes, and it really helps to take a step back, maybe one, maybe two steps, and then hopefully the penny will drop. This is an extension that I don't need again, and this is not one that I don't need. There we go. Now, we included a box behind another box. Next step for you to, let's see if you can work this out yourself, to add in a box onto another box. Say on this side or on this side, doesn't really matter. I'm going to glue another box onto the already existing box right there. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. We can make a window, that's the idea, yeah. So if you want, you can make a window or draw something onto the other box, but you need to make sure that you use all the correct directions, left, right, vertically, that's all. And then you can kind of play with it. I'm going to include one line that indicates where it starts. There we go. I'm not going to finish it, I'm going to let you finish it. But basically this line is the end of a box, right there. This one or this one. So I'm not starting with the middle one, I'm starting with the end one. Yeah, so you can start with all directions. Alright, I'm going to cut this video short. We're in 22 minutes already. Alright, let's end this one.